it's Thursday and it's Whoop, and I'm going to bring the guys on. And we have George and we have Sean. And I'm not yelling. See, I'm not yelling this morning.
Well, that's good. So you're being nice.
Yeah, well, he always yells at me because when we start out, I go, Rah! And so he says I yell. So I did it very nice this morning. I'm keeping my voice down instead of yelling. So,
everybody should be yelling this morning.
Yeah.
Everybody should be yelling this. You believe that? You did believe that piece of shit judge, the federal judge, stopping the family of the terrorist guy that decided to use flamethrowers on the people, the Jewish people?
Yeah, like the family had zero idea of what was going on. Give me
all right. Yeah, right. They're all on the carpet going.
The guy planned it for a while too. They were saying.
Yeah.
They could say whatever they want. It ain't gonna happen. They just what are you taking pictures of porno places? What?
No, this is what I got walking up to me right now.
Uh-oh.
He's got a mask on. I was like, I got to take a picture of that.
Hey, do you see how it's bothering the Democrats?
She's walking right by me right now. She's got the.
You get weird people walking by you.
I'm up by Newark Airport. She's walking by. She's got rubber gloves on, an umbrella, a duck-billed mask. I don't know. People are.
That's a good mask.
Yeah, Thank God I just locked my doors. I figured, maybe I need a little protection.
Good idea. Anyway. What's going on? How's Jersey going? How's the what do you call it? The MAGA governor that's trying to run the primary and the GOP?
Yep. So our early voting started Tuesday, and I haven't voted yet, but I want to get out and vote. But it's apparently I seen Scott Pressler put a post up. I think we were like the Republicans were like 1,500 off of what the Democrats did in early voting. So that's good. If we could match them in early voting, because or at least be close. I mean, it's a primary, but it's good to gauge where the excitement level is of between parties. But if we can match them, and then because we always do win the day of vote, which is good.
Okay, I'm going to open up here with a prayer. And then we've got Pastor Jackson Lahmeyer coming on about 9:20. He's going to come on and talk to us about pursuing happiness and everything in holiness, and his new book and the White House Faith Council too. So that ought to be interesting. And then we'll do our trivia after that, like we normally do. But so here's the prayer for this morning. Since we have a pastor on, I'm going to do a nice one. So it says...
Well, wait a minute. Did we tell George he can't curse today in this show because there's a pastor on?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
you just use the letter WTF.
Yeah, there you go. That's good. You could do that, George.
FKN.
I know. I'll be careful too. So we have pleasant words are like a honeycomb, sweetness to the soul and health to the bones. That's Proverbs 16:24. So a wise Southern woman once said, it's always best to stop and taste your words before you let them pass through your teeth. So that's a good one for today. So we'll watch our mouths kind of.
Amen.
Amen. Yeah.
Everybody has to remember in the chat about how many, about what Trump said about the snake, the old woman and the snake. Well,
yeah.
Let me tell you, and there's plenty of them, especially in the Congress, and only 6 bills have been passed since Trump's been president. Imagine that, 6 bills.
Yeah, well, we need more.
So,
well, the GOP is like they don't have any balls. BAWLS.
They should be GOB, not GOP. They got
I'm not going to say
Bulls.
The Bulls.
They're unbelievable. They're just unbelievable. It's a shame. It's a shame. And we put these people in. And plus, people have to understand when they go out and vote, do not follow the money. You follow the money and vote for that guy. That's the guy that's part of the GOP and the deep state and everything else, because they want to still have control. And that's why with in Jersey too, the same thing. You got to watch who they put their money on. And whoever they put their money on, they dump a lot of money. Like I said, the one that had the commissioner down in my area, They spent millions of dollars for commissioner seat against this guy. Imagine that. Money that they raise.
It's amazing how they even, I learned the other night about how they take money from, they're sent it to one candidate and or political group, and then they move it around and then go back to the candidate they really originally wanted to go to. That's a whole nother thing. That's a little harder to trace than just going to this, to the first candidate.
Agree 100%. You know what? And I know it's funny. They learned that from the Democrats.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The Democrats were good. Right? Act Blue and all that other shit. How they transferred all that money, and how they had all these other funds that Elon Musk found with that USAID stuff and everything else. I mean,
with the NGOs.
That's sick shit. They were and those NGOs. That's what was paying for all the chemtrails and for the color revolutions over in the EU and everything. That's where all that money was coming from.
And people
are paying for a lot of craziness.
Yeah.
China's funding. Everybody's blaming George Soros. It's not Soros. It's China, big time. China. Look what China's trying to do. They brought those two kids in, right? And they're saying that the college wasn't behind the whole thing about funding.
They were trying to poison our food supply.
Farm,
right? And
farmland, yeah.
It's funny you bring that up about China, and the people that come here from China, you don't get out of China unless a CCP allows you to, right?
That's right.
So all these students that are coming over, that these schools are again, it goes back to making money, right? That they're charging money, they're paying for the access to get over here, but they don't come over here to just go to school. They come over here with a job. They come over here with a job to spy, to report. The CCP monitors their communications with their family. I mean, look, they even had those CCP jails here in our country where what do you think they do? They go after those Chinese citizens that are over here going to school and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. There's six what do you call Chinese police stations in America. Six.
Yeah.
California.
I don't know why we even allow these student programs of them coming over, because they're not coming over they're coming over for other reasons because of the CCP. Yep.
Yeah. Liberal arts. Yeah.
I know. Well, I told this before when I was in Washington and I was doing with the grant research. There was a Chinese doctor that was sitting right next to me for 4 days, and she didn't even understand English. She had translators on the whole time when we were doing our panels and everything. And I know what we were doing at that time, and from what we were doing, there's no way that what I know now that she should have ever been there, because there was some stuff that was pretty. Not clandestine, but that shouldn't have been taken offshore here, But so you wonder what she, how did she get in there?
Well,
you look at the amount of students that come in this country from China, right? Mm-hmm. We don't have that kind of amount of students going to any other country like they have over here, and if they don't go through a specific, like they're not kids of the workers in a Nike factory coming over to go to college. These are all people that are connected into the CCP.
Yeah.
And it's pathetic. They should just stop it and end it. I don't know why.
Well, they cut the number down. There used to be 360,000 students from China here. Now they're down to 270,000. You got 100,000 from India. I had the numbers all broken down, and it's just Indians and the Middle East, the same thing. They shouldn't have. These kids come over here and look, and then they just their visas. Everybody starts forgetting about 9/11. Don't forget 9/11. They all here on student visas.
They were all on visas, yeah.
And guess who signed them? Brennan signed them. That piece of shit that was in charge of the CIA there. He became a Muslim. He changed his religion when he was over in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, but even with China though, like you look at the land that they're buying up around military bases, right?
Oh yeah.
And then you look at this attack that just happened with Ukraine into Russia with the drones. I mean, that was something.
Yeah, that was planned during Biden's administration.
Yeah, but if people don't think that we could have similar attacks if they own land, and they could build up drones in a place and just launch them at any time, they're mistaken.
They could come off of the ships. Take out the ships off sea. They go a couple hundred miles, no problem. And the thing is that people have to just wake up, because they want us to forget of everything that the Democrats have caused, between letting it happen with 9/11 and happening with the 13 soldiers that died, Benghazi. Benghazi. What's her name was behind there with Hillary Clinton and Obama.
Yeah, remember Hillary said, "What difference does it make?"
Yep.
You know what Podesta says she smells like?
Who, Hillary?
Yeah, he said she smells like urine, cabbage, and farts.
That's
a hell of a combo.
That's what he wrote. He wrote it in a book. That's what he said. And so that's pretty gross.
Maybe that's
the evil coming out.
And he's still alive.
Yeah, he's still alive.
That's because they don't hang out together.
Yeah,
he speaks on his own now.
Did you?
He's worried about the Epstein files, so he's
He's
very heavy on.
He should be.
Yeah, Podesta's bad. Do you hear KGP, the ex-press secretary, dropped out of the Democratic Party?
The Muppet.
Yeah, the one with the hair.
Well, she's looking to sell a book. That's why. I mean, what better way to sell a book than act like you're leaving the Democratic Party and you got some earth-shattering news, right?
Yeah, but did you hear what she said? She said she should have listened to Pete Ducey, because he was right about everything.
Oh, did she say that?
The first chapter.
Wow.
Yeah, she used to really go after him too all the time and say, like, why are you asking that question? I'm redirecting you. That I've answered that. I mean, she was always on him.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't matter, because what these people have done. And listen to the Democratic leader of the House, Jeffries, the moron that is. The way he speaks to people, he pauses every 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Well, I want to say that ICE agents are wearing masks, and they should be wearing masks. I mean, they got to protect.
He wants to dox them now.
Yeah, well, that's what the problem is. A lot of the families are getting threatened and everything else. They're doing a job, right? They didn't. What about what all these FBI agents? Well, not as Dan Bongino was on Hannity last night, and he said, and usually I don't listen to Hannity because he wants to show how good he is. But I did it because Dan Bongino was on this. He was speaking about there's going to be stuff coming out, and people are going to be surprised. And he kept on saying, and he said what he said on the show. He says, I will not be lying to you. I'm going to tell everybody the truth, and nothing's going to stop us. Because they said they found a room with information in it. They want exposure. But the thing is that what they should have done when Trump took over, he should have got everybody out of that FBI office, because they were burning papers, shredding stuff and everything else. They should have just closed that building down. Just close the building down. They should have closed every federal building that was high, because when the numbers were low of the unemployment rate, what Biden was doing is hire federal jobs. Didn't matter.
That was all. Yeah, all the gains on jobs were all federal jobs.
Yep, to move the numbers.
Right.
Yep.
So, look at the IRS agents, 87,000 IRS agents, right? To look at your $600 Venmo charge.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy.
And they were armed too. So if they're armed, they weren't going after $600 Venmo charges. I think they were going to start auditing people and arresting people. That was my opinion, though. Plus, they would be able to use them for their own little army too. Because IRS can come seize all your assets. So look at, if you had a tax debt, let's say you owed $2,000 and you were on a payment plan, the IRS could come with a gun and come over to your house and take your guns as a civil forfeiture for your debt. What better way would that be than to get everybody unarmed?
Yeah, well, I got a sign in front of the door that says, "Be right with God before you enter my house."
Yeah, well, we all pray every time you're on the show, so that tells you something right there.
Yep,
too.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Prayer. Well, that's why we open up with prayer, George, for you.
I appreciate that.
George, goatee looks good today. It looks good.
I I had to I went to the barber shop, but I can never get my face straight. I'm always if I shave one side, then all of a sudden, oh shit, the other side looks shorter. Then I got to hit the other side. Then I did that side. Then I got to go back to the other side. By the time I finish, the whole thing.
Yeah, just keep on taking more and more. It's like
to make a big V. Yeah.
No.
That would look pretty funny. I don't know. I'm still going about that KJP. She was such a moron. I don't even know how she ever got that job.
They were all trained.
She was the binder.
Yeah,
she had the binder every time
Hold
she
on,
did
something. I'll get back to you. Hold on, let me go.
Yeah, she looked through the binder. She was like this.
Let me look.
Yeah, she can't hold the candle to Caroline Levitt or Kayleigh McEnany. I mean, both those girls.
That she's too young.
Else.
Did you hear?
I even thought Huckabee Sanders was good, but I got to tell you something. I mean, Caroline Levitt. Now, I think she's probably the best one in 20 years that they had as a press secretary.
I agree with that one. I agree 100% because, and then now the fake news media says that she's too young. She shouldn't be in that position because she answers too quickly.
She's doing too well. That's the problem.
She ain't looking at a book too much either.
She's smart. That girl is so smart. I like how she answers quick though too, like what you're saying. Because for her to be able to answer that fast and cover that much information, that she knows everything. What she does. She's good at that job.
Oh, she's performing at probably the highest level of anybody in 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
KJP was hired because she was a lesbian, black, and
she was a check mark.
Yeah, because
she checked the box.
Yeah, because they wouldn't pick on her. Right away, if they would have picked on her, they would have said racist or whatever shit they wanted to say.
No, they still say that. Yeah, if you disagree, you're racist or you're homophobic.
Now they're racist about the guy that's getting deported, the one that's burning people up. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And what happened was when these federal judges that were picked, these progressives, there has been lawyers that were progressives, and they got picked to these chosen things. And guess who approved them? The Senate. McConnell approved those judges.
Yeah.
And they said they got those judges just in case Trump won, because they knew Trump was going to win. And they put all these judges in those places so they could stop everything.
We said that before. Why were they in such a rush to push these judges through? And why did McConnell, why didn't he slow it down? Right? Because McConnell doesn't want to see Trump succeed either.
Chinese connection. McConnell got that shit with his wife, that freighting company that they got. They're trying to.
It was like 225 judges that they pushed through at the very last minute.
Yep.
220. That's an awful lot.
Now don't forget the first Trump administration. There was a lot of openings for judges, and Trump helped put a lot of federal judges in the system. Yeah, and now this time they made sure they didn't have that. That Trump didn't have that luxury, and they put every crazy judge. I mean, look at these judges, how they're trying to stop Trump with every single thing he's doing. It's pathetic.
But you know what it is? Congress has the power to have the judges removed, and they just don't have the BAWLS to do it. They got the judicial. They have the Judicial Act of 1801 and 1802 that Jefferson did. So the judges will not have the power that they have, what they're trying to pull. But everything now you're talking about illegals that commit murder and all the stuff that raping and everything else. These Democrats have no feeling to these families. And the other thing is, look what happened when Trump spoke in front of Congress, right, the House, and he turned around and he rose that kid JD. And he was sick and everything else. The Democrats didn't even recognize that kid. And the guy
couldn't even stand up for him. Yeah, couldn't even stand up for him. Couldn't clap for him.
Right.
Nothing. That was sad.
Nothing.
That's how. I mean, that is. I mean, could you imagine if that was a bunch of Republicans that didn't do that?
Oh,
mainstream media, they would be blasting that all over the place. That was a story that mainstream media didn't even, it fizzled away. We know about it because we pay attention. The people in the chat know about it because they pay attention, but people that watch regular mainstream media, that's a story that they wouldn't know JD from anything. So
well, the story came back as that we're using that kid as a pawn. Trump is using that kid as a pawn. Everything,
Yeah.
anything that they use, like the people that got raped, the kid that got killed with fentanyl and all that stuff, and the families that suffered after shot, and it just keeps on going. Oh, they're using them as a pawn. Have nothing, no feelings at all for the families of whatsoever. And that's
Yeah.
how it goes all the time. It never fails. Same shit, different day.
Stacy said pawn, not porn.
No, I said porn. But I said, hey, listen, but the Brooklyn comes out of me. It's very hard. I
Yeah.
can't. My way to I sucked in
What's the old?
English. I
You
was
could
great
take
in history, great in math, but sucked in English.
You can take the kid out of Brooklyn, but you can't take Brooklyn out of the kid, right?
That's right. Yep, that's what they say.
That's what I heard.
So,
Yeah, love Christ said DJ needs our prayers. Absolutely. I think you
got two more. He got two more. We're trying to do a fundraiser for him. Well, he wants to do it. We got it. In fact, it's on Facebook. We shared it, and he comes out with a little video that he wants. What's his name? Aldine to come perform because we're going to put a whole thing together for him. He wants to do a fundraiser for other kids that have cancer. And we're going to hold it in West Palm Beach. That's what we're trying to do. And
it's a horrible thing. We lost a friend of ours across the street, 18 years old. He had a brain tumor. Very smart young man. And I was always looking forward to see his future, how he was going to do, because I knew he was going to do very well. Comes from a great family, but he passed away from a brain tumor, and I feel for his parents.
Yeah, well, what they're doing with this fundraiser, all the police, all the sheriffs throughout the country are all going to come here and deputize them.
Oh, wow.
At this fundraiser, which is going to be unbelievable. We're going to do motorcycle escorts and all stuff and everything else. So I think it's very important. So I'm trying to contact somebody to contact Aldine because the kid liked him. I mean, he was at the inauguration, Aldine, singing. So
yeah, Aldine was at the inauguration. Yep.
So, and that's about it. But that's what we got to pray for that kid. Are you going to say something, Tracy? I am listening.
No, I just feel really bad for that kid because for what it's not good. It's not good at all.
No, he ain't got too much time left.
No.
But
he look at what he got though. Look at all what he got to experience and everything. All the outpouring for him was really touching when you think about it. Because he was just a normal kid. When you see a little kid like that, it's hard. It's hard to see that.
No, it's funny. He doesn't want Kid Rock.
I don't know why he wouldn't want Kid Rock.
I don't know. He said,
He wants country music?
No, he just wants Aldine. That's why he loves Aldine. He don't want anybody else. That's what he said. Either John Rich or him.
Yeah.
The whole thing is that we got tell everybody in the chat that they have to keep him in our prayers because he's going through some stuff.
Yeah.
And his family, strength for his family. I mean, I don't know how. I mean, like I said, as a parent, it's got to be total gut wrenching. I couldn't even imagine.
But this is the things we try to do. We don't try to. We try to help out as much as we can because there's people that kids like a kid like this the kid's a hero, and no matter which way you put it. I mean, from what he accomplished and stuff like that, and the amount of time, and he got a lot of respect. He got a lot of respect from the Republicans, MAGA, and President Trump. And you got those POSs that the Democratic Party just don't give a shit. They just don't care. They don't care. They don't care nothing. They don't care about all this anti-Semitism that's going on in the college and everything else. You got the fighting. You got it just doesn't end. It just doesn't end. I want to save my rant for tomorrow.
Well, for tomorrow. We always have a good. What do we got tomorrow? Trump truce. We got the rant. We got. Oh my! I'm sorry, my birds are getting really.
I was
loud.
The birds are trying to tell us something. I don't know.
I
know it's tomorrow.
They probably heard George talking about a rant, and they got all upset. That's what it is. They're like,
yeah, the birds like, hey, I want to hear the rant.
Yeah, I keep them covered up during the show too, so they stay quiet. But sometimes I think they hear me talking and they just want me to uncover them. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And the pastor's late. He got confused on time, so he should be logging on here any minute. That's what I hear. Here he is. Okay, we're going to bring him on now.
Awesome.
We were praying for him to come on.
Yeah.
Hello. Thanks for coming
Hey.
on.
Oh, thanks for having me on, guys.
Good morning.
I'm awake now.
That's okay.
I know was there a time, it was the time change difference, wasn't it?
No, I'm Central Time, but no, I thought the link was going to be emailed. I guess it was text to me, so I had it the whole time, and but now I'm on.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I know I needed your email yesterday and I didn't get it, so we worked around that. But
Oh,
thank
no,
you
you're
for
just
joining
fine.
us. Thank you.
Absolutely.
So what do you want to start out with? I know I got your book, and I know you work with the White House Faith Council and everything. So what would you like to talk about that's really important to you?
Well, I just think that people ought to have a solid understanding of what the White House Faith Office is and what it is not. And, President Trump made a campaign promise and followed through on that promise. And so the White House Faith Office established to help protect religious liberty. The bedrock of our society is not freedom from religion, as some may say, but freedom of religion, that you can have whatever faith that you want to have without being targeted by the government, without being discriminated by the government. And religious liberty has been under attack in our country, especially if you are a Christian or a Jew. And so the White House Faith Office is there to help ensure religious liberty. And some great things coming out of the Trump administration. I think I'm among friendlies, right? You guys probably.
Yeah.
I think so.
President
Yeah,
Trump.
really.
Yeah, I think
Totally.
it's a safe. I think it's a safe bet.
I'm just a little bit under. Me, it's hard for me to
George
control.
may be a little. George may be a little. I don't know if he's a Trump guy or not, but George,
All right, we'll convert him. We'll convert him.
Yeah.
No, I'm there, trust me.
Let's pray for George's.
I've been writing for him for a long time for Trump.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
But
what
everybody in the
what
chat
is
saying- I'm sorry. Everybody in
Okay.
the chat saying, "Good morning, Pastor. Thanks for showing up. We appreciate you and rock and roll."
and
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me on, guys.
yeah, what was great was the day you were on Newsmax with Ed was the day that we got confirmation you were going to come on with us. So we got a little competition going here with.
I love it. I love it. Let's
Well,
knock
yeah,
it out.
because this was Ed's show, and then when he went to Newsmax, he turned it over to us over here. So we always have a soft competition going on with. So
Beautiful.
I thought it was funny. So what are they going to do about with the anti-Semitism in the White House Faith Council? Are you going to concentrate on that?
Well, obviously, it's a major issue to the president and his administration, but specifically, the White House Faith Office is designed to make it an issue. First of all, a lot of people don't even want to talk about it or think that it's happening, but it is. I mean, we see what happened in Boulder, what happened in DC. These are just samples of a larger problem. And, the media is not always our best friend in getting out that message. A lot of times it's coverage of covering up kind of what is happening, but it's also happening to Christians. I don't know if you all are familiar with what just happened in Washington State, where there was a group of Christians gathering at a park. They'd been denied 2 permits from other places. So they gather at this other one, and Antifa shows up. And Antifa physically assaults, throws balloons full of urine at these, and there's children. And so that's religious liberty being under attack, and we have to defend it. So the other thing, our federal government has been weaponized to target people of faith, whether that's the IRS, the DOJ, FBI, ATF. And what we're doing is we're uncovering that, exposing it, and then going to be implementing policies to make sure it never, ever happens again.
Oh, yeah, that's so important too, because religious liberty, that was what part of the whole founding this country.
You have to have the freedom to practice your religion the way that you choose. And unfortunately, Barack Obama and Joe Biden, they are not very big supporters of religious liberty.
Exactly, but especially what they allowed during their administration with the satanic statues to be put in different places and that kind of stuff too. You wonder, what was the purpose of that? I mean, we know you can make assumptions, but really, why would they allow that? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, I have some thoughts. I don't want to get you guys in any trouble, so maybe I should keep my thoughts to myself, or is this like you just want me to let it
You're
loose?
free. You're free to go.
All right, all right.
You're
Hey,
free to
nice.
go.
She gave permission, so blame
Freedom
her.
of speech out there, right?
Well, so with Barack Obama, let me start with Joe Biden. Joe Biden says he's a Catholic, right? Well, Joe Biden's a really bad Catholic. He's such a bad Catholic that he's not allowed to be served communion from his own priest. And if anyone's Catholic, they understand that's very significant.
Yes.
You have to take communion as a Catholic. You just have to do it. And Joe Biden's not allowed. So that tells me he's a really, really bad Catholic, if he is a Catholic at all. Barack Obama was raised in a church in Chicago that is one of the most vile, one of the most hate-filled churches in America. That's Barack Obama's background. And so whenever you put out there the things that they did, I mean, this is the thing you got to look at. 2024, Easter, Joe Biden, Transgender Visibility Day on Easter.
Yeah, remember that? Yeah.
Yep.
You can't make this up. Like you cannot make this up.
Which is my birthday, March 31st.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's not an accident, guys. Like, let's just, that's not, I know, like, well, he's incompetent. Well, that may be so, but the people behind him weren't. That was very intentional to have Resurrection Sunday, Easter Sunday, which is like the Super Bowl Sunday of Christianity.
For Christians, yep.
Yeah. And then you deem it Transgender Visibility Day. That's a slap in the face. No Catholic would do that. No Catholic. I don't care if you're a good Catholic, average Catholic, or a bad Catholic. You know better.
He went to see the Pope. He thought he was forgiven.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things.
Well, when the Pope said no, that's when he pooped himself.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
There's a reason for everything.
So these are wicked people. This is intentional. It's not incompetence. It's intentionality. These are nefarious people. I used to think, oh, these are the most incompetent people in the world. No. These are very competent people. They're just competent for what we'll call the dark side.
Right.
And
very purposeful actions. Everything was purposeful. Yes.
It's not incompetency. That was done intentionally.
It's all planned. Everything's all planned. Everything's planned against God. And they've been trying to take God out of this country for a long time. I mean,
so if you wanted me to boil it down, yes, Barack Obama and the Joe Bidens of the world, they're a part of a group of elites that there's a hatred towards God and the people of God.
Yeah. You could almost, like in my opinion, like the way they were going was almost like Sodom and Gomorrah. Everything that they were practicing. And that's what they were trying to do with our country. And maybe, spiritual warfare, trying to destroy the family and breaking down everybody's values and morals. And that goes a long way into bringing in communism or, Marxism, anything like that, as long as they could break the religion. But that was just my opinion on things. But it seemed to be that's the way it was going.
Here's the good news. They were trying to break faith and religion in America, but faith is back in style in the United States of America right now.
Amen to that.
Young men are coming to church like never before. Bible sales are at a record high. We have over 1,000 pastors that came to the White House in the first 100 days of President Trump's administration to pray, worship. Faith is back in America. And what that means, and this is what I always say, if we're going to really make America great again, you got to discover, well, what made America great in the first place? We have to make America godly again. And we're doing that in the present. This is the most amazing part. It's not necessarily a preacher or a pastor leading the charge. It's the president of the United States. The president is the one saying, go get a Bible. The president's the one saying on Easter Sunday, go to church. The president's the one who's saying, I want pastors at the White House. I want pastors praying. I want pastors here. That's the president. And it is flowing out of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, and it's impacting the different areas within our culture. And so what an exciting time to be alive. Not only are we seeing great economic growth, we're seeing great foreign policy growth, we're seeing a spiritual renewal in America.
Yes. Two things I like to bring up, Pastor. One is that the the Black Robe Regiment, who were Christian pastors in the Revolutionary War, helped us win against the British. That's number one. Number two, when they tried to assassinate President Trump, he was shot at 6:11. And if you looked at Ephesians 6:11, it says, "Put the armor of God upon you to protect yourself from Satan," which all the things were there. And we know that. I mean, people say certain stuff, but we know that President Trump is chosen by God to lead this country back under the word of God and stuff like that, because that's what created our country. We're only going to be 250 years old soon, and look how much we accomplished. I mean, they've been trying to destroy this country since the late 1800s.
Well, we witnessed divine intervention with our eyes from
Right,
Butler, Pennsylvania.
We witnessed a miracle.
Yes.
Like we have a miracle on people. Like, I don't believe in miracles. Well, I got a video to show you. God is a God of miracles, and you guys recognize this.
Mhm.
If that bullet was a centimeter difference, there was a chance our country would have divulged into a civil war at that point.
Oh yeah.
We were on the brink of
Well,
a
Pastor,
possible-
that bullet was on target. God moved President Trump's head at that specific, but that bullet was on target. If he didn't go like
Yes.
that, we have a different conversation today.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
President Trump knows that. He is very aware. This is his words, not mine. God spared my life for purpose,
Yes.
and that purpose is to save America. He knows he is a man on a mission, which is why, if you notice just how at ease the president is right now.
Oh yeah.
If you remember his first administration, there was times, and rightfully so, right? He was really just there was an anger, a righteous anger is what I'd call it, because he's fighting Democrats and fellow Republicans. And the media. Yeah. Well, now if you'll notice, the president's just at ease. He's just at ease. It's because he has experienced a divine intervention, and he is so confident that God spared his life, not just to, God spared his life to save America, and he knows it's going to happen because God's in it.
That's right. Yep. Amen to that.
Yes.
Great.
Amen.
Yeah. Do you want to go into a little bit about your book? I'm gonna bring up a picture that I've got here of your book. And I heard it was quite good. I got to be honest, I haven't read it yet, but I intend to.
Well, make sure you do before you die, because you want to go to heaven. So you have to read this
Oh, yes,
book.
I do want to go to heaven.
Get into the pearly gates. But just came out with this book, Chasing After the Wind. The foreword was written by the great Daryl Strawberry, and Daryl and I have become good friends. And the book is essentially about this. In life, we're all chasing the wind. What are we all chasing? Everybody, from children to adults to rich to poor. We all want to be happy. That's why we do what we do. We want to be happy. I eat Oreos because they make me feel good, not because they're good for me. I go do things that I enjoy. But sometimes our pursuit of happiness can divulge us into very bad decisions. Why does the drug addict take drugs? Because it's the promise that it'll make them feel good. They'll be happy. Why does the porn addict go and watch porn even though he knows it's not any good for him? Because it makes him feel good. And so we all want to be happy, but happiness is elusive. It's like chasing the wind. You never actually catch it. Our mentality as Americans, well, if I just had this, well, then I would be happy. And we get the this and realize we're never truly happy. And so how do you catch the wind? How do you achieve real happiness in life, real joy? I think Coach Lou Holtz put it best. He said, if you want to be happy for an hour, go eat a steak. If you want to be happy for a day, go play around the golf. If you want to be happy for a week, go on a cruise. But if you want to be happy for a lifetime, get to know Jesus. And there is a real joy in knowing Christ, a joy that is actually unspeakable, a joy that circumstances cannot give you and circumstances cannot take away. And so our hearts are designed to be happy. But if all of us were to be honest, we're not happy. There is a void there, and money never fills it. Fame never fills it. Power never fills it. Family never fills it. And so we're always pursuing happiness, but never actually catching it. So this book is all about how to truly be content, happy, and at peace in life. And so it's on Amazon, Chasing After the Wind, or people can go to my website, jacksonlahmeyer.com, and they can get the book there. And I'd encourage you, get the book. I got 5 kids, so I got a lot of mouths to feed. So somebody go buy the book and help. You know what I'm saying? So Amazon, Chasing After the Wind, jacksonlahmeyer.com. And I think it'll be a blessing to people.
Buy the book instead of Oreo.
Yeah. This is good for you. This is good, and this will make you feel good as well, because I tell some funny stories and things like that.
I was reading some of the synopsis and of it and everything, and it really cuts right to the chase on a lot of things. But like what you're saying too, trying to fill that void in your soul, if you don't have God and Jesus, what do you have?
You'll try anything. You'll try food, drugs, alcohol, sex, power. You'll try anything, entertainment, and all of those things are you're just chasing the wind. You never actually do it.
Yeah, agree with you 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
We're all put on earth for a purpose, right? We're all put on earth for a purpose. We all have a mission. I mean, I walked away from the Trade Center when the planes hit. There was a reason for that. And but with Trump, since he came down that escalator, I was with the original Bikers for Trump at the time, so one of the original creators of it. So and then we started this mission.
Yeah, and like our chat, we're a pretty religious group. We open up with a prayer every time. Every show we do that, and most of the people in our group, in the chat, the audience and stuff that watch too, they all have a spiritual background. Most of them, I don't think I've come across anybody that doesn't really. That's with us, and I think that's a good thing. But like. It's good, but more families need to bring their children up that way.
Right.
That's where a lot of it's lacking, is when it doesn't come from the home. That'd be a better way of putting it.
Godless homes or empty homes. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. And children are your joy. And so many couples aren't having children anymore either. And that's really a shame.
Yeah.
But
it seems like Pastor, you're making up for it though, right?
Yeah, I mean, we actually, it's interesting. We have a depopulation crisis in America, right? Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
But we actually don't. If we didn't abort as many babies as we do, we wouldn't have this issue. We actually don't have a problem of reproduction. We have a problem of murdering innocent babies inside their mother's wombs. That's the actual problem.
It's millions. It's unbelievable how many.
I mean, listen, people don't have a problem having sex and making babies. It comes so natural. You don't even have to have a book to figure out how to do it. Having sex and making babies, we do it very well. But what we do even better is murdering those babies before they ever take their first breath.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
That is terrible. Well, I want to tell you thank you so much for coming on and sharing your insights with us, and we'd love to have you come back and spend some more time with us. If
you want one of these shirts, send Trixie your address. I'll mail it to you.
And I'll send you guys some books. And you don't have to read it. You can do it as a forced stocking stuffer to someone you don't like this Christmas.
I want to read it.
I'll read it. Absolutely.
No, but we really enjoyed having you on. I know the chat was really enjoying it too. That's why I'm turning my head. I'm reading the comments as we're going through here. But we really enjoyed having you on. But definitely, we'd love you to come back.
Absolutely.
Let's make it happen. What genders are your children? Yeah, you said
I got 3 boys, 2 girls.
I have 4 girls. I have 4 girls and 1 boy.
Okay, yeah. So
10 grandchildren.
Oh,
10
congrats.
grandchildren. Yeah, well, we're trying to practice dementia now to try to forget them because
Christmas time's expensive time.
Too much money Christmas time.
So George needs 22 books for his kids and his grandkids. If you can send them.
Fantastic. It's called
my kids turned around too. It's pretty good.
Pastor, it was a pleasure having you this morning, and thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
Appreciate it.
We have to see you again.
Yes, definitely come back. You get my email, and anytime you want to come on, you just get a hold of me, and we'd be more than glad to have you.
Awesome. We'll make it happen, guys.
All right,
thanks for the words of wisdom.
Awesome. That way we can rub it into Ed too.
Yes, let's do it.
We have to convince pastors of one thing. not to be worried about the power of the purse and the power of word of God. They have to learn the difference about that.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Once again, Pastor, appreciate you.
Thank you so much for your
Thank
time
you.
this morning.
And God bless.
Great meeting you. Bye-bye.
Likewise.
Bye-bye.
Very nice.
Great guest. Yes, he was a great guest. Absolutely.
See how I control myself? I didn't curse once.
George.
That was all you guineas get off the grass.
I mean, now I could open up my hands. The whole time I was like this.
Yeah, I know.
I'm going, please, God, please don't let George curse in front of this fine pastor, please.
Oh, he was really interesting. I
Yes,
wish
I love the name of the
wish
book.
we wouldn't have had the time problem there, but
Yeah.
I'd love to have him come back and talk for an hour. He's really interesting.
We have to get him back. Actually, we've had a lot of guests on from when we started doing this that we have to really kind of recycle through and get back on again. We've had a lot of good guests. That young lady with the Moms for Liberty, Beard Vet again. I mean, there's a lot of good people that we've had on that we should,
Well, next Thursday we got Mike Schwartz coming back on again because he really wants to come back on. He likes coming on here, and we'll have a lot to talk about, especially with Moderna getting approval for that new COVID vax.
Yeah,
another one. So we got a little bit about that, and I don't know. Mike has always got good insights, and plus he can talk like crazy.
Yeah,
a lot of information, Mike. Mike's good.
Yeah, and plus he cross promotes us on his show all the time too. So
Mike's another great. I mean,
he does Trump very good.
Yeah, I want him to do a Trump recording for us so I can use it for a video or something like that. But I got to think of what I want him to do. So what
Mike's great. Mike's great. I feel bad. I haven't been able. A couple of those night shows I've been either different local fundraisers or meetings and stuff. I've been missing his shows, and I wanted to get on last night.
He called you out, Sean. He called you out the other day too.
I want to get on the chat. I feel bad. I wanted to get on last night, and then
why don't you go ask him to go on live, be a guest speaker on his show because of Jersey. You got a lot of Jersey people.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go on if he wants to have me on. I mean, not maybe. I mean, if he wants to have me on, I'll obviously go on. But I just like going in the chat. It's he's got a good group of people that go on there. It's like kind of like we have. I think we have better. I think we have the better chat though of anything on Rumble with that.
Oh, our chat's the
right, chat.
Yeah, our chat's the best.
Throw the thumbs up in chat if you agree with me. But we got the best chat.
Smartest. We got the smartest chat online. I swear, if you read, like I got the other computer up, so I'm going through the comments, and you can and I read them. I can't read them all the time, otherwise I'm looking sideways. But we got really smart people in our chat.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. We have a lot of good people.
So you want to see how smart they are? I got a good trivia question. Let's see how smart.
What's the trivia question today?
Yes, what's the trivia question today?
Yeah, George, what's the trivia question?
I was supposed to tell you, but I forgot.
George,
George is supposed to
that should be a little segment from you with that the way you just did that with the voice and everything. That was good.
Yeah.
What's the trivia question of the day? Okay, let's see how smart our chat is.
I want to be in the document. Hold on. Okay, good.
Oh, look at that.
Okay. The U.S. Supreme Court case in 2010 changed campaign finance by allowing unlimited political expenditures by corporations and unions. So what was the U.S. Supreme Court case in 2010 that changed campaign finance law by allowing unlimited political expenditures by corporations and unions?
Is that when they allowed PACs?
Yes, they allowed PACs, unions, and corporations.
Unions are, especially public unions. It's kind of scary, like what goes on in New Jersey with the teachers' union and the state workers' union. What they kind of.
Yeah, that's how everything gets changed through the lobbying and money.
Yep.
Come on, you guys, nobody's answering.
Florida for Trump, the bullshit law.
Come on, look on the internet.
Hey, Florida for Trump. We had a pastor on there. You got to keep it. George is keeping the cursing to a minimum.
Pet his elbow.
Oh, DTAF has, what has he got there?
The Dumb Shit Act.
Dumb Shit Act.
I don't know.
That's almost a winner.
America Mark, the fuck up our country rolling.
Okay, Mark. There's yours. I
don't know.
I'm not writing that all out. I'm just going to put the F rule.
Yeah.
Okay, come on.
I don't know. No one's
Come on,
saying
you
this.
guys. This is an easy
internet.
one. This is an easy one.
Insider Citizens United, USN Aircrew, Bush versus Gore.
Who said Bush versus Gore?
USN Air.
Okay.
Red Ginger, I already won, but it was Citizens United. One citizen just said Citizens United.
That makes sense.
Oh, one citizen just said that.
I think Denise has the best answer so far. The Way to Launder Money Act. I think that's bingo. I think she got it. Hit the like button for Denise's comment. I think that was the best. I think that was one of the best chat comments that I think we ever had.
Mark, you just got topped. Sorry,
yeah,
Mark.
Mark, you got knocked off the top there with the best comment in chat, I think.
Come on, people, gotta hit that check the thumbs up thing.
Well, yeah, if you hit the thumbs up, you're endorsing us. So that and then you're endorsing Sean for his run too.
Endorse me.
And Sean, you still have to do your letter for George.
Yes,
and
yes,
I do. You still have to give me your information so I can run a banner along the bottom so we can donate money to you.
I'm not gonna fucking ask it anymore.
No, I get it. Just the primary going right now. It's really not. The primary is important, but I'm not being primary, so it's really my focus hasn't been on that. But coming up, it's going to be important.
Hey, my endorsement's been pretty good.
I hear.
I would have definitely. I would have
mine. I endorse the show all the time.
Either way, the Jersey president that I have, I asked about endorsing. What's his name?
Bill.
Yeah.
Spadia.
She said there's too much controversy now, so I could override it, but I didn't want to do that.
So speaking of Bill, it's funny. My father-in-law says to me the other day, there's really three candidates that are the Jersey.
Yeah, there's five, right? Aren't there total five?
Well, there is, but I'm talking about for the on the Republicans, there's five, but there's really three that are up there. You have Chettarelli, you have Spadia, and you have John Bramnick. And there's a lot of Bramnick signs in my area. And my father-in-law calls me yesterday. He says, I don't really see any Spadia signs. I'm like, well, you know what? I've been hearing that they've been getting taken down. I don't know if they're Bramnick's people or they're Chettarelli's people. I know a lot of Bramnick's people. I know some Chettarelli people too. Those people wouldn't do it, the people I know, but there's somebody doing it, right? So I'm in this Spadia group chat, and here's one here. My neighbor had her sign stolen twice. Another guy, my signs were removed 3 times. So I mean, they're grabbing Spadia signs. Why? What are they so afraid of? Like
they're afraid of the MAGA movement. They're afraid of the MAGA movement. I'm telling you. The DOC has control and dumped a lot of money. And the whole thing is these people should electrify the signs like I did.
Yep. And then this lady respond back in the text, tells you who scares them, doesn't it? I agree. I think Spadia does. He's serious about making some good change in New Jersey, and I think the other sides just want business as usual. You know, the uniparty type of bullshit that we talk about.
That's the thing that people have to, and we keep on saying that all the time. Not to follow the money. You follow the money, then you vote for the wrong candidate. I'm telling you right now, it's like that.
I hope if Spady doesn't win, and Jack wins, I hope he sees the poor, people that poured for Spady, and I hope maybe he makes him make stronger changes, So we'll see what happens.
Got to get on the local news about them stealing the signs for Spadia. So then it'd be good to do that because of the simple reason, and people will realize who's the candidate that should be elected instead of.
Yep.
So
I'm getting comments from YouTube on the side over here, and I don't know who this is, but they said, "Here's my freedom of speech. The tail is wagging the dog. It's time to remove all foreign state interference from American politics. The game is up."
Very good.
Excellent. So we're getting stuff from YouTube. So I'm excited now. I'm excited.
Wow, look at this. YouTube's breaking.
Well, yeah, we usually beat Tony and Chris on YouTube all the time on views. And
Oh,
so,
wow.
and now we're even getting comments.
Anyway, but the thing that's important is we have to vote for people in there that's going to help Trump with his agenda, and it doesn't. There's a big story about the truth about Elon, why he left, which is a lot of things that.
Well, Elon left because he had to leave, number one, because of the
Yeah,
130 some days, right? That was, but you know,
There's
you
a
must feel.
whole bunch of stuff that, Elon wanted a lot of stuff done.
Sounds like he's a little pissed off with this bill, right? I mean, with the spending in it.
Well, they wanted to cut as much, and this is what happens. And people have to understand this. It goes from the Senate, then it goes to the House, and the reason why it goes back and forth because they put shit in it. They add the shit in it about saying, "Oh, we should have like say, for the farmers, say they got pig farmers. Oh, we should have got more stuff supplies for the pigs."
Well, yeah, they keep on throwing pork in.
Whatever
Yeah,
the district is, the thing, and that's why. And Lindsey Graham, that piece of shit, should get brought up on the Logan's Act for going to Ukraine, shaking hands with that other piece of shit, because they want to get us into World War III.
Well, that's what it's about, keeping the industrial war complex going. But this bill, going back to this bill for a second, I heard Rand Paul talking, and I think he's right. The big issue with this bill is it's going to raise the debt ceiling to the highest level it's ever been. And the one thing that the Republicans kind of own, probably 80%, that they could always say the Democrats are the ones that keep on raising the debt ceiling. Now, if we vote for this, that's gone, because this is the highest debt ceiling it's ever been. And then they're going to say the Republicans have raised the debt ceiling. So I do believe that they should figure out a way of not raising the debt ceiling.
The bill should be all done separately. The bill should be all.
Yeah, but that's
that line item veto too. Line item veto. That
but also, I forget how the reason why, but because of you needing 60 senators the other way, I think that's why they need a bigger bill like this, if I'm not mistaken. Because we won't have 60 votes. The Democrats aren't going to vote for us on any of this stuff.
So in 100 days, the Republicans only passed 6 bills.
Oh, it's pathetic.
During Biden's administration, they passed over 100 bills.
Yeah.
So what does that tell you? The Democrats work very nicely together, and we got Republican assholes that have no balls. And this keeps on going around and around. And that's why you got to put the right people in office, and we have to vote these people out. If you know what the Republicans did, and they're part of the establishment, when they have the primary, vote for the other guy. Get them out. Give the other guy a chance.
Yeah.
And they lie about certain people that are for short-term limits. That's why they lied about Matt Gaetz, Corey Mills, all these other people. They're trashing because for the simple reason is because they want things done in the House to be done term limits.
Oh,
they
yeah.
don't want to have nothing with term limits.
And you just had a good thing about voting these guys out. We had a guy used to be on the radio in Jersey here, and he used to call it GRIP. He says, "I'm not a Republican Party. I'm not a Democrat Party. I'm in the GRIP Party." GRIP is GRIP. Get rid of incumbent politicians.
That's right.
But that's the problem. You keep these people in, and they're in forever, and they're owned by their special interests. They're not, they should be owned by the taxpayers, but they're owned by their special interest, and they don't give a shit. And people don't pay attention to vote them out.
There's a lot of people that they only watch like ABC, NBC, and CBS. So all they're getting is
channels. They have no other channels. The cables don't. There's people in these other countries. Listen to me. We go back again. Why they invented the word television? TV, television, exactly what it's supposed to do. Programs were the same thing about programming the mind. All this stuff was planned. Even at the past agreement, all this stuff started in the late 1800s about taking God out of this country. And that's why they break up the nuclear family. They took jobs, exported jobs out of this country for the simple reason is to not have the minorities having a job. And they took the shops out of schools because of that,
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Sure. But you mentioned television, which was obviously designed to push a lot of propaganda, right? And all.
Absolutely.
And I think maybe we should try to do a show on this coming up, but I keep on saying AI is going to be so scary.
Yeah.
In the future, you're going to see something, and your eyes going to say, "Hey, I seen it." I mean, it could be anything from a, somebody doing something that they really didn't do. I mean, look, we made George a baby, right? You made George a baby with AI. So
I didn't like the baby one because I had no beard.
Yeah, but
I got a new one with a beard on it.
But even we should probably do a show on AI one day and do one of these things,
You're gonna
because that's going to be scary. What's going to happen with that?
I'm telling you about AI. It's going to cure a lot of medical problems like cancer and stuff like that.
Well, that would be great.
Yeah, and what terrified that will be the pharmaceutical companies. Like we were talking about, what's the name? Moderna got a new approval.
Yeah.
And look at their stock went up. So now a lot of people are getting money, especially the Republicans and Democrats, making money.
Yeah. Well, Big Pharma, basically, if you look at it, Big Pharma and their lobbying, they own I bet you they own like 2/3 of Congress if you go through everything. And all that money in research too doesn't go to research. It goes to kickbacks, and it goes to operations in the colleges and everything like that, so they don't touch their endowments and everything. Plus, it funds the military bioweapon research too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to that. If we ever did a whole hour on AI and like pharmaceuticals and the medical industry, it's going to totally get rid of physicians, because you won't need one, because AI will be able to give you what tests you need and read your diagnosis. You won't need radiologists. You won't need anything. Even with chemo, you start talking about chemo and AI would be able to give you the perfect combination of drugs, which would kill everything.
You can go down every industry. I mean, you could talk about the finance industry, what AI can do to it. You could talk about
stock predictions,
customer service. I mean, there's already things that where they answer phones and everything else, and they it's so.
I wonder if they give them the Indian accent when they answer the phones, though.
Or the Philippines, or even the Philippines. You call over. I used to like to ask, where I forget who I was on the phone one time, but I heard like chickens in the background, and I said, by the way, where are you at? And she said, I'm in the Philippines. I'm like, oh, okay. It was like dawn in the Philippines, so all these roosters were not chickens. The roosters were out.
Hey, I told one of those people one time, they called me up on the phone, and I told them, I said, why don't you leave me the F alone? I said, go F yourself. And you know what he did? The guy called me back and says, because I hung up on him, he called me back and says, yeah, F you too. And he hangs up.
He actually calls you back and said, F you.
He called me back.
I was at a dealer yesterday. George, you would love this guy. He's an Italian guy, and he's a big Trump guy and everything. Anyway, he got a call. He got a call on his cell phone, from one of these, telemarketers, but a scammer, right? So he's got a little Abbott and Costello thing, the who's on first, what's on third, all that kind of stuff. So he goes like this to me. He goes, watch this. So he's talking. He's answering a couple questions. He goes, well, let me ask my wife. Hang on. And then he acts like it was like hold music. So he puts it on, and the whole thing's going, who's on first? What's on first? It was hilarious. And he's sitting there laughing. And then he let it go for like 2 minutes, and the person ended up hanging up on him. It was funny.
Oh, well, we're going to have to wrap it up here, because we're after 10 and everything. So we'll be back tomorrow with Frisky Friday. We'll have Trump Truth. We'll have George ranting. We'll have that. And I don't know. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. We'll have a good one tomorrow. So everybody in the chat, thanks.
Mark will be here. All right. So
Mark will be here. Unless something happens to him between today.
He's not
tomorrow.
traveling, right? Mark,
I don't think so, Mark. I hope you. No, he left already. He's not in the chat anymore.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well, a lot of people left.
It's 7 after 10, so we've just been sitting here rambling. So
okay.
All right. So we'll see you guys.
Take care, Sean. Take care, George.
All right, everybody.
Take care. I'm practicing Dimension. Take care, George. Have a good day. Okay. Thank you very much. Bye.
Okay.
Who's George?
Bye.
Who's George?
Who's George?